lovelies. You join us on a wintry woodland wander. Not a great deal of snow here at the moment, but a few icy patches and frosty mornings. These bright, crisp days have their own special kind of sparkly magic. And with the daylight hours being so short at this time of year, I like to make the most of the dry, crisp, fresh air before darkness draws in, which at the moment is about 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's a good bit of exercise for me and Minnie, as you can see. And the woodland feels calmer and more peaceful in winter. But of course, in order to really be able to enjoy a winter's day, we need to make sure we're nice and warm and we're comfortable. And it also helps if you know a few things you can do to protect yourself if you do get caught out in bad weather. Because hypothermia can kick in at temperatures way above freezing. You don't have to be in a vast frozen wilderness at -40. People can die of hypothermia in their own homes. When I started to think about the things I do to stay warm when the temperature drops, in order to do this video, I realised that the basic principles hadn't changed for centuries. Our ancestors knew that layering their clothing and using natural materials like wool worked best for them in winter, and that still applies today. I prefer wool layers like these wool socks and wool leggings, but I'll also use synthetic fabrics like these fleece-lined trousers to keep extra toasty. The basic principles of layering the clothes start with a good base layer to keep your torso and your legs warm. And you can use merino wool base layers if you can afford them, or synthetic fabrics. Most people don't want to use cotton these days because they realise that it doesn't release moisture. So natural fabrics like wool or synthetic fabrics, as long as they're built for purpose, are the best things to use for your layers. Likewise with your mid layers, trousers, top, all breathable ideally, and with that wicking property that allows moisture to be released from the body, especially when we're active. And it's important to have the right footwear to suit the season and the terrain that you're going into, and a decent top layer to keep out the wind and the rain, but ideally also be breathable too. And then the vital accessories, a good pair of gloves or mittens and a warm hat. Complete the outfit with a scarf or snood and you're ready to go. And our equivalent medieval fellow is seen here with his fur-lined leather boots and woolen hose or stockings. He may be wearing a linen base layer and then this woolen tunic over the top, perhaps a waistcoat. He may be wearing a felted wool cap under his woolen hood. His shoulders and body are well covered by his thick woolen cloak. His hands are protected with sheepskin gloves. The types of foods that the more fortunate ones would have enjoyed hundreds of years ago are still winter favourites for us today, and for good reason. A hearty winter stew made with root vegetables and proteins, be they in the form of meats or beans and pulses, are just what we need to warm up our bellies. Foods that take longer to digest help generate more heat in our bodies as our metabolism gets to work to digest the food. So root vegetables, complex carbohydrates and proteins are just what we need for a real winter warmer. And there are plenty of ingredients we can keep in our store cupboards that can help to keep our bellies warm. Oats, lentils and black beans, nuts and dried fruits, and warming spices to give a little extra kick to our meals and drinks. We don't want it so hot that it makes us sweat, because that can make us colder. We just want to be able to enjoy those warming spices, just like we find in mulled wine, another ancient favourite. You can't afford to sit around when it's cold. You need to keep active to keep the blood flowing and keep your muscles working. That old saying, wood warms you twice, is quite true. But if you do have to hang around for any reason and you're feeling cold, move around a bit to get the circulation flowing. People often feel hungry when it's cold, but not necessarily thirsty. But it's just as important to stay hydrated as it is to eat well. A warm drink not only warms your hands and your belly, but it also lifts your spirits when you're feeling cold. So if you're going out and about, I'd always recommend at least carrying either the means to make yourself a warm drink, or a good flask that's well insulated, of hot water or whatever your favourite brew is. As for how I keep warm in the wagon, well, it helps that it's only a small space to heat and it's well insulated. And I've also got a small wood burning stove in there, which produces enough heat to keep us cosy. And I can also do a bit of cooking on it if I want to. My favourite bits of winter wagon wear are my lovely sheepskin slippers. These keep my toes nice and warm, so they're pretty important, because if your feet are cold, it makes the rest of you feel cold. And I've got no shortage of woolen blankets for my bed. And Minnie never has a problem finding a cosy place to sleep. When I'm going to go out for a hike or a wander for a few hours, I always take a day sack, which typically has much the same stuff in it all year round. One thing I always carry is a waterproof poncho like this one, a very versatile piece of kit. You can put it on quickly over the top of a backpack, and it's big enough for Minnie to get under too. But it also doubles up as a small tarp, because it opens out into this oblong. In this case, this is about 7 foot long by about 4.5 foot wide. And with the addition of walking poles or sticks, a few pegs and a bit of cord, you can make a variety of different shelters to keep the wind and the rain off you, particularly if you haven't got much shelter from the environment. It packs up small and it's quite light. I'll always carry the means to either light my stove or a fire if I have to, such as a windproof lighter and a small ferro rod, and some food and drink. the quantity according to how long I'm going to be out for. And here's a quick list of some of the other things I usually carry, which add to my comfort and enjoyment and safety while I'm out and about. I think my top tip to anyone who's getting into the idea of getting outdoors a bit more is never underestimate the power of nature or overestimate your own capabilities. Nature has no sympathy with the foolhardy. It's never worth taking chances, but it's always worth being as well prepared as possible and taking care of yourself. Anyway, I think that's about it for now. So I'll leave you with this magical little moment from the other night when I had a special visitor. Unfortunately, my camera's no good at filming at night, but it's still very special to be so close to a wild thing. Stay cozy, folks, and I'll see you next time. And if you've got any tips about staying warm in winter, please share them in the comments.